We are back here on our big broadcast. We are coast to coast and border to border on iHeartRadio today. And welcome back to the big broadcast today. We've got a true rising star in country music. He is joining us today. He is literally moving into his new home, which is fantastic. Luke Prater joins us today. He was born and raised in Texas with a guitar in his hands from a young age. Luke's authentic voice, great songwriting, and energetic live shows have helped him build a devoted fan base across the country. His sound bridges classic Texas country roots with modern storytelling, and he's just dropped his highly anticipated full-length album, Pickin' and Grinnin'. It is an absolute piece of business. It is packed with songs that speak to the heart, hometown pride, love, and hard-earned wisdom. And Luke's been touring heavily. He's been playing hundreds of shows, and he's also carving out his own lane in country music. And today we're diving deep into his journey and his creative process and what's next. And in fact, what's next for Luke Prater is this week. He'll be playing at Gillies Casino in Park City. And we welcome Luke to the big broadcast. Welcome to the show. How are you, sir?
I'm great. That all sounds real good, man. I like that.
Hey, you're a big deal, man, and you've proven it every day. Now, Luke, you grew up in Texas, surrounded by country music. When did you first realize music wasn't just a hobby, but something you had to pursue?
Oh man, that's a great question. And not one I get on every other radio interview, so I appreciate that. Man, so I grew up playing in church. That's the hobby part and the serving part of it. Shoot, you start making a little dinero. You start trying to figure out, okay, hey, there might be a way to do this. There's a story I can tie into this. So I was 15 and I met Aaron Watson for the first time,
That's
and
awesome.
he brought me up on his bus. There's a whole long story that we'll leave it. We'll save that for another day. But he said, I saw your video. You playing my song. You sound really good. What do you want to do for a living? And I said, well, if I can, I'd like to play country music, sir. And I swear, he said, this right here is a mantra in my head. He said, well, if you want to, you can, son. And from that point on, I got off his bus. I watched his show, and I'm looking at all the rigging, all the production, all the $10,000 soundboards, and I'm thinking, you know what? How cool for him to do this for a living. So literally from that point on, I was 15. Um, I put my head down and started trying to figure out how to make it happen for myself, and that was 11 years ago. So we're just trying to keep the wheels rolling.
Fantastic. We have got a great guest with us today. Luke Prater is with us. He's going to be part of a gigantic show this Thursday at Gillies in Park City, Kansas. And so, who were some of your earliest influences on your guitar playing, your songwriting? Were those the artists you listened to at home, or those that you discovered later on, my friend?
Man, so my dad moved to Nashville at 17 playing guitar. Admittedly, he said he got there and the first bar he went to, there was a kid who was probably 12 or 13 playing maybe two or
Oh, we've seemed to lost Luke. I don't know. I don't know where he went, but we'll get him back here. Luke Prater is going to be part of a giant show at Gillies this Thursday night. It is going to be a big show, and we got Luke back with us. So you were talking about your earliest influences, my friend.
Yes, sir. So sorry about that. I don't know what happened.
No, you're good. You're good. Lots of moving parts, literally and figuratively today,
That's
my
right.
friend.
That's right. So anyway, my dad moved to Nashville. He said he saw a kid who was maybe 12 or 13 years old, and he was maybe two or three times better than he was, and thought, okay, I really need to step up my game if I'm going to, try to do this on a Nashville level. So he came back home to Texas. Never did get back into playing music full time again after that, but he had three boys. I'm the youngest of those three boys, and he passed everything he knew about the guitar onto us. And so really my oldest brother and I took a liking to playing music, and we both still play music to this day. And then the middle brother is the one who actually has a good career, and he does very well for himself because he's not in the music industry. But so dad would be the first influence on the guitar. He showed us all the basics, and then he'd show us guys like Brent Mason and he was a big rock and roll fanatic for the classic rock, and so Billy Squier, Ozzy Osbourne, Led Zeppelin, their guitar players, CC DeVille and Slash and XYZ, those guys had a big influence on me too on the other side of the spectrum in the rock. So we incorporate that into our live show now. We do what's called the rock medley, and that's kind of our little uh, differentiator from every other Texas artist. We try to have our own little 8 minutes of rock and roll and try to connect with some of the folks in the crowd.
That is fantastic. We have got Luke Prater with us today. He is going to be part of a gigantic show at Gillies this Thursday in Park City, Kansas. Tickets are moving quite fast. You might want to get them in advance. You can get them also at the door. And the last few performances I have seen at Gillies, they have been a line out the door. So you want to get there early. Luke Prater with us today, talking about the background and the beginnings of his career. Your sound blends traditional roots with modern edge. How have you seen your style evolve since your first EP in 2018?
Man, I think that's another great question. I really appreciate
Yeah.
the uniqueness or the authenticity behind these.
Hey, we're trying to make you look like $1,000,000 here because
Love it.
believe me, people are not tuning in for me.
Yeah. Well, hey, I need all the help I can get too. So I think when I started, again, there's a lot of dad's influence on. I could hear him saying, oh, this pop country ain't country at all, this stuff. So I really tried to fall into a little more country bumpkin than I think I really was, with the, starched up pearl snap and the cowboy hat too big and all that stuff. And, you know, now 10 or 15 years later, where I feel like I've kind of found my lane, there's still a lot of influence from the countryside, but I say countryside, I mean VFW country, Hank Senior, George Jones, Roy Clark, all that kind of stuff. Um, that's not necessarily 100% of what I do. Now we tip our hat to that during the live show, but I've realized that in Texas music, at least, or really the music industry as a whole, the only way to set yourself apart from every other artist is to just do your own thing. And that sounds so cliche, but everybody else is already doing their own thing. That's the only way. So if you try to intimidate somebody, that lane's already taken. And what that has looked like to me is, man, we've got songs, they're all in the genre of country or neo-traditional country. Um, but if you want a subgenre, the entire set, man, we're throwing a wide net of, we've got songs that are way more bluesy, some songs that are a little more red dirt rockin'. We've got songs that are right up the pipe, barn burner, VFW country. And so, I really respect that about guys like Cody and Randall, that they're not just in this tiny little box, that they're able to throw a wide net, and that translates to a live show so well, because it takes the audience on a little bit of a roller coaster with you. Does that all make sense?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. And we love it. It's going to be a gigantic show this Thursday at Gillies in Park City. Playgillies.com is the official website. And you're going to want to come out because this is a huge, huge, huge show. And we have got Luke Prater with us today. He joins us live here on our big, big broadcast. So, Luke, let's talk a little bit about your creative process. Walk us through your songwriting process. Do you start with lyrics, a melody, specific guitar parts? Break it down for us, my friend.
Man, it's probably across the board as well. I've been a guitar player way longer. I say that I've been a guitar player maybe 10 years longer than I've been a singer, and so every once in a while I'll have a melody or something in my head, and I'll try to figure out, okay, did I hear that from somewhere, or is that just, am I getting just a little tap into the ether or something? And I'll go in and I'll try to jot that down or hum that into my phone real quick. But most of the time, it's me sitting with my guitar. Um, and I think something that a lot of other guitar players can relate to that are singer songwriters is, and again, it sounds kind of cheesy or corny, but when you pick up these different guitars, they have obviously different tones to them, and that'll totally shape the writing process for what you're going for that day. If you pick up a J45, that's got its own sound. But then if you pick up what's yours, Riley? A 137, 125, a 125. It's just an old school arch top Gibson. That kind of, I don't know. It's just that'll kind of sway you into another way of writing, and then a lot of times I'll be just with my Telecaster here in my studio, and um, you can imagine the type of honky tonk songs that come out of playing a Telecaster. So a lot of the time it is music first and then lyrics. Um, but I gotta say, my notes and my phone, like many other artists, is just thousands of partially finished songs or verses or choruses or just some clever little sayings I heard some old man say or something like that. It's really
That's
across the
awesome.
board.
That's awesome. We have got Luke Prater with us today. He joins us live here on our big program. He is going to be part of a gigantic show this Thursday night. It is going to be January 15th at Gillies. Playgillies.com is the official website to get all your information on this big show. And we are excited as punch to have the incredible Luke Prater with us today. So, talking about your creative process, are there themes or stories you find yourself returning to again and again when you write?
Absolutely. It's so much so that I have to steer away from them because Jason Aldean has this thing where I think every other song is about uh, small town, hometown, something. I think he's got probably 35 songs that say the word town, and I'm the exact same way.
That is
Uh,
amazing.
I have a song called This Town. I grew up in a small town, Lavernia, Texas, outside of San Antonio, and it is the most tight knit community that there's just been more support. There still continues to be more support for me there, than I think most people get in their hometowns across the country. I've become friends with all these, bar restaurant owners or the superintendent of the school district or what, it's just a very, very uh, sweet community that has been very welcoming to me in my career and gotten to play every type of city event they can. I think they start making up events for us to come out and play them. So I'm real partial to our small town, and I try to talk about it every chance I can, especially at the shows. But man, I've got a song called "This Town." And after I wrote that one, I was like, okay, that one pretty much encapsulates everything I wanted to say. We gotta we gotta not just repeat this over and over again about this small town. So that's certainly that's certainly a large part of my writing is, I have a big community there that I love to write about. And it fits so great into the genre of country because I did grow up, setting trot lines and jumping off of bridges and driving around in my truck for hours on end with nothing to do. Um, so that's a huge theme. And then also, I'm married. Of course, I write about my wife every chance I can. That's kind of the theme across the board. There's a few less. She's gone and I'm crying songs these days. Praise God. But that was certainly a theme for the earlier parts of my career. So I don't know. Continues to evolve.
That's awesome. That's awesome. We have got a great guest with us today. He joins us live. Luke Prater is part of the program today, and he is going to be part of a gigantic show January 15th at Gillies in Park City. And they have been rocking and rolling over there, and Luke Prater is going to continue that this week. So let's finish process. How do you balance keeping your music authentic while also pushing it forward into brand new territory, Luke?
I think that ties back to what I was saying earlier. If you are really trying to squeeze into a certain thing, that can kind of get in the way of being authentic. If you're just trying to write a radio song, you're just trying to write a barn burner, or what have you. Yeah, again, probably another cornball answer is when I sit down to write, I do not start with okay, I need a radio song. Okay, I need a ballad. I need this. Every single day that I sit down to write, I think it helps too, the music coming first, playing something that really is catchy to me. I'm just gonna write whatever comes out, and then at the end of the day or the end of the year, when I'm looking at all the songs that we're gonna record in the next session, I can go and pick through those and kind of decipher. Okay, hey, this one might be better suited for radio. This one might be better suited for one of the fillers or one of the slow songs. But I think authenticity has to be. I'm gonna have a hard time writing a song about her blue jeans sitting on the bed of my truck, and as similar as that sounded to the small town stuff I was saying a second ago. If I'm trying to tailor to, okay, I just want this to be as general as possible, just to throw out a blanket statement. Um, I don't really try it, so I couldn't tell you if it was good or bad. But I'm gonna bet it's not the best product, or at least the product that I'm gonna be the most proud of anyway. So authenticity, or genuinity is gonna be the first thing that really really matters to me. That and how melodic the music is.
Fantastic. Fantastic. It is Luke Prater. This Thursday, he's going to be live at Gillies. Now, let's talk about your career milestones. You've played nearly 100 shows a year and toured heavily. What's one of the most memorable gigs that really shaped you as a performer, Luke?
Well, number one is July 30th, 2021, and it was our very first time playing at Green Hall. Have you heard of Green Hall?
Yes, I
So
have. It's a
most
hell of
most
a
of the
deal.
world has, and which is crazy because it only holds 800 or 1,000 people. But um, that was our very first time playing there. We were on a tour with Curtis Grimes. Uh, that was the high of my life, the highlight of my life, especially. Um, I had all of my friends, all of my family, anybody I'd ever met, I think, came to that show that night. And uh, at the end of that night, uh, this girl came up to me and asked for a shout out for a friend. She thought I was selling merch for Curtis. And anyway, that girl is now in my kitchen unpacking boxes right now. It was the
That
day
is awesome. That
I
is
met my
fantastic.
wife. And so here's a cool little callback. That was July 30th, 2021. This year is going to be the second time we headline Green Hall. It's going to be on July 30th, 2026. 5 years from the day that I met her at Green Hall. Isn't that crazy?
Absolutely amazing. That
Yeah.
is
Numero
fantastic.
uno.
That is amazing. It is Luke Prater. Thursday, Gillies. He's going to be playing an entire just electric show. It's going to be fantastic. You're going to want to be there. Gillies in Park City. PlayGillies.com for more information. Now, uh, singing and getting out there and doing all that, one of the big things about all this, because it is the music business, is signing a management deal and releasing Pickin' and Grinnin'. It must have been huge milestones. What has this journey been like for you, my friend?
Oh man, it seems real quick and real treacherous at the same time. I guess depending on what my how I'm feeling that day. Um, this album came out a couple weeks ago, and we did an album release show at this place called Do the Big Barn, and it was the listening room. And this is the only time in my life that we hadn't had transitions planned between every single song, that we were going to do this cool little three hits here, and then we were going to transpose this to go into this song. The point of that was to play one song, dead stop, and talk about the next song and the origin of it and how it came to be and where I was in my life at that point. And um, man, during that show, I'm not a very like sappy guy, but it was hard not to get choked up thinking about, man, I was 21 years old when I was 17 when I wrote this song, and I was going through this and this and this. And um, man, again, it some days it feels like, holy cow, like how do we wind up here? How did this happen so fast? Not that we're gonna show up to Gillies in a Prevo, but um, we're making rent, which is, or now we're making a mortgage. Praise God. Um, but
That's right. You're making a mortgage now, baby.
that's what I used to tell everybody at 15, 16. They say, "What's your goal?" If I said, if I could just pay the bills playing music, what more could you ask for? And what more you could ask for is maybe like a bus or two or three and a couple semis. But
That would be awesome. That would be awesome.
at the time, I said, just making rent. So, um, man, I can look back and I think like most people, I can just see uh, God's hand over all the things that had to fall right into place in order to put us exactly where we needed to be this certain night, or I had to go through this whole thing to get this song out of it or to get this opportunity out of it. And so, um, man, especially closing on this house yesterday, man, I just feel so grateful, so blessed. And we got this big week coming up ahead of us. We got Gillies on Thursday. We're in Amarillo
Yeah,
on Friday, and then we're over by New Mexico on Saturday. So we're just scrambled, being pulled 100 different ways, but I sure feel grateful for sure.
that is amazing. We have got a great guest with us today. Luke Prater with us. He is going to be part of a gigantic show at Gillies this Thursday. So, talking with Luke today, an in depth conversation here about everything, it seems, and talking career milestones here. So, tell us about the experience behind the single Take That Chance. What inspired that song, and how has the response been from the fans to that?
Man, that one has done really good for us. That's one of those ones where uh, it wasn't exactly, if you listen to the lyrics of the song, it wasn't exactly how I met my wife, but it was a little more, okay, if I played it a little bit cooler than I did the night I met her, this is what that would have sounded like. This guy in this song is real cavalier, and how he's approaching and his wording and everything is real strategic in what he's saying to this girl. Um, but that was one that when I got done writing it, I started writing it from the head lick alone. The and after I got done writing it, that was one that I thought, man, not that I tried to write it for radio, but I think radio would really like this. This is a up tempo, real type of fun, kind of cute song, and it was received that way, and that one has jumped to the top of our Spotify at least, and radio took to it very nice, and it's been really good for us. It's I'll tell you a secret. It's our intro song. We come off the back of our big intro, and that's the first song we play, and it fits that slot perfect.
That's awesome. That's awesome. We have got and in just an amazing show here today. Luke Prater is with us. He's going to have a big show coming up at Gillies coming up this week on Thursday. So let's talk a little bit about the music and the fans. Your songs have emotional storytelling at their core. Is there one track on your recent album that holds a particularly personal meaning for you, and why is that?
There's a funny one, and then I'm sure there's some sadder ones too. I would say cold in Kansas, which is ironic because I'm sure it'll be cold there on Thursday, right?
Oh yeah,
Hopefully, there you go, fits
yeah,
perfect.
yeah.
Uh,
It's gonna be cold, baby. Unfortunately,
my Texas butt's not ready for it, man, but we'll be all right. I'll bring heaters or hot hands or something.
that's
Um,
right.
I
That's
was
right.
working in the oil field at the time, and long story short, I met this guy who was like a supervisor, and I thought I was going to get my butt chewed out one day, and we wound up talking, and turns out he was a songwriter, and he wanted to get together, so we got together, and his name is Justin Potter, and we were sitting at his house one day just trying to figure out, okay, what do we have in common? He's a 48-year-old supervisor for this oil field company. I'm a 23-year-old safety guy for this other oil field company, but we both had music in common. Turns out he was in the military for like 20 years, and he had traveled all over the country. He had lived, I think, 10 or 12 different places all over the country, or and outside of the country. And I had just come off the back of that tour with Curtis Grimes, and so there was our common theme was traveling, and then we tried to figure out, okay, now where do we expand from that, and what we got out of that was being in some of the most beautiful places on earth, but still having a little bit of a void there, not being there to experience it with your significant other, and that's what spawned Cold in Kansas. Fun fact too, we were playing at the Fox Theater there in Hayes, Kansas, and I was sitting behind the theater, and I had my acoustic, and that's where I came up with the head lick for that song. And so I had to tie the location where I wrote the head lick for that song that sat in my voice memo for however long to the song in the end. I think we got disconnected.
We have got Luke Prater with us today. He, of course, is incredible musician. He's going to be part of a big show at Gillies here on Thursday. And so, what is your favorite part about performing forming life? Is it the connection with the band? Is it the energy? Is there something else? Break it down for us, my friend.
Hey, can you hear me okay? Your voice sounds all like robotic. Check, check, check. Oh, let's see. We'll fix it in post.
Interesting uh, technical difficulties here. Luke, can you hear us, my friend?
Yeah,
Okay. I don't know what is going on. You bring up Kansas, and that's pretty much what it is. It's living in the middle of the vortex, baby. Uh,
I love it. Hey, I
but
got you loud and clear now.
as we wrap up here with
Um,
you, are there any dream collabs or venues that you're aiming for down the road, my friend?
oh, absolutely. I think as far as venues are concerned, I think the Opry takes the cake for everybody. Um, Red Rocks, of course. We've got Whitewater Amphitheater down here in New Braunfels. Just been to so many shows there that one holds a special place. Billy Bob's, of course. There's probably quite a few more, but those would be the peak. Can you hear me okay on your end?
Yep, I've got you. I've got you.
Okay,
Well,
perfect.
Luke, it has been fun chatting with you. We look forward to chatting with you at Gillies this week, and I really appreciate the time. Thank you, brother.
Hey, absolutely, man. Thank you for the questions. That was like real enjoyable talking with you.
Hey, I'll tell you, we're gonna do more of it when we see you and do some stuff for the TV show on Thursday. I'm looking forward to it. I'll talk to you then, my friend.
Yes, sir. I'll look a little nicer then. All right.
Hey, I will as well.